Today, I'm going to show you how to make this. A little smoke and a little thyme equals delicious when it's done the right way. Hey, good morning. Today, it's roast chicken. Now I'm outside, of course, and we're going to be roasting this right back here on the grill. I want to show you that you can roast chicken on a grill and you get a great flavor doing it. The thing of this, I'm going to be using a gas grill. But you know what? I'm one of those guys that likes that charcoal flavor. All right? Thing of it is you can have that charcoal flavor and have a gas grill. I want to show you how to do that today. We're also going to be seasoning this simple. We're going to be trussing it up in a very simple way. It's just a little bit of string and it's not a real difficult thing. So what we have here is a beautiful chicken and basic ingredients. And folks, we're going to get into making a delicious roast chicken. Now it's a very simple dish. So what I want to show you today is how to truss it, season it, and how to cook it up just the right way if you're using a grill. Now you can do this on a gas grill, you can do it on a charcoal grill. It works the same either way, and we're going to discuss that. And before we go further on this, I'd like to mention, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, well, let me explain. I do 2 videos for every recipe. This is my tutorial. Now my recipe video, which is the previous episode to this, is very similar to my competitors. They show you a lot about the recipe and a little about how to pull it off. This is my tutorial. It's a little bit longer and I go into the detail about why I do certain things the way I do them and the results I expect to get from what I'm doing. So come over this way. Let's take a look at everything I'm using here. Let's get busy let's get busy cooking up this delicious roast chicken. This ain't hard, but it's fun. My bird ready to be trussed first. Now I like to do the trussing first, but you can season it and then truss it, or truss it and then season it. And I find either way works equally well. What I like to do whenever I'm trussing a chicken, and this is so easy folks, watch what I'm doing. I'm going to tie this one leg right here. There we go. Just like so. I'm going to take my string under the other leg. We're going to pull the two together just like that. Get away from me, fly. Now, yeah, it is that time of year, isn't it? Housefly time of year. Okay, so here, let's take that string, pull him up. There we go. So we've got the legs pulled together back here and they're tied off nice, but we want them to stay pulled up tight and we want the wings to be pulled in also. So I simply take this string right over this leg, between the leg and the breast, and over the wing right there. Isn't that simple? Now I want to do the same thing on this side, over the leg and the wing. Now when I flip the bird over, I simply take those strings that were passed over the wings, give them a good tuck, just like that. See how it pulled the wing backward? Isn't that sharp? Simple? Easy? Boom. Okay, I've tied that off. All I need to do is remove my excess string, get that out of my way, and take my bird's wing tips and tuck them right behind. Now, this keeps that tip from burning, A, but B, gets it up out of the way so that it's not going to be, well, it's not going to be bothering you. So here's what our bird looks like after it's trussed. Looks really sharp. Okay, now all I need to do is to get this seasoned and get it into the grill with some extra seasoning. And our extra seasoning is going to be that wood right there. We're going to take the wood, we're going to wrap it in foil, poke a couple of holes, and this becomes a smoker for a gas grill. Now if you're already using charcoal, it doesn't matter. You can add something like this over the charcoal for extra seasoning, yes, but it's not necessary. All right, and if you have charcoal and you want that flavor, then you can go ahead and use it on your gas grill. Just wrap the charcoal in the foil. And I've got a fly that really wants my chicken. He can't have it though. It's for me, not for the fly. All right, let's take our foil. You know, a smoking packet is too easy. You just wrap it. Wrap a piece of wood, wrap some charcoal, whatever you want to use. And the wood doesn't have to be a natural cut like this either. If you have, let's say, some oak trimmed oak wood, you know, like you would find at a hardware store, that will work fine, okay? In other words, like what you would build with. Oak is oak, folks. It doesn't matter if the board was trimmed neat or if it was split like that. It does the same thing. Now I'm going to put this on the grill. We're going to tuck it over there under the grill grate as I'm heating it up. But before I get there, let's talk about seasoning the bird. That's one of the things I like about the gloves. If you'll notice, I move right into the next thing without any hesitation whatsoever. So seasoning my bird, you know, the sides, they never get anything, do they? Let's go ahead and get this lifted up. And a nice pair of tongs when you're grilling, whenever you're working outdoors on a grill, folks, this is the best way to go, all right? Now don't be afraid to put plenty of salt on there. You've got a lot of meat going on here, a lot of size, and it'll take plenty of salt. And it's going over a skin too. So it's going to be filtering that from the meat. Something I wanted to mention, and we could have done this first, and I should have done it first, is putting a oil coating on your chicken. Now for me it's not a big deal, and I don't think of doing it first because I use one of these. It's a sprayer, all right, and it allows me at any time to just coat my bird with whatever oil I want to coat it with. Now it's the same oil as that right there. I'm using some olive oil, just spraying it over it. Isn't that convenient? Black pepper. If you've never tried one of these little pressure spray bottles, well, do yourself a favor, save up and buy one of these. They are really, really worth the money. I've been using these since they first marketed, and they've been out for decades now, and I have no regrets from ever buying one of them. Now, the beautiful thing about the way I'm going to be doing this, the way I'm going to be cooking it, in a grill, when you're cooking up a chicken like this, you get that extra flavor that you cannot get in the oven, and an extra appearance that's just, it just looks prettier, it tastes better, and it's worth your time. So give this very simple recipe a shot. Now let's take a look over at the grill, and once we get it preheated, we're going to get this bird out on it. So if you're setting up your grill to smoke, but you're going to be roasting at the same time, that means certain burners are on and certain burners are off. I'm going to roast over here. My bird's going to be right here, which means I'm going to be using primarily this left burner, and if I need, some of the center burner, okay? And it would be on low, all right? So I want my heat emanating from this side. That means the smoking packet's going to go over the hottest part right here. The back of a burner is usually the hottest part because that's also where most grills vent, along the back. And these things heat up beautifully back here. It'll smolder and then give us some beautiful smoke. And that's all there is to it. Put your grate back over on the top of it and you're off and running. Now some grills got that burner really, really close to the grate and you can't fit a packet under it. In that case, just put the packet in foil right on top of it in the back and it still works the same way. Now folks, I'm about ready to light this up and get it heating, but I wanted to mention, if you're using a charcoal grill and you have a rectangular one like this, there's a couple of things you can do here. You can put all of your charcoal to one side and roast on the other, or you can put some charcoal on each side and roast down the center, and you'll get a little more even roasting that way. I could do that here since I have a burner over here and a burner over here. I could run those burners on low. This time I'm going to be just taking it and running just one side and doing my bird on the other. And that way I can probably teach this the best way. But it's something that you want to experiment a little bit with on your grill and see what works best for you, because different ways of doing this can really matter on different grills. So give that a shot depending on which grill you have. And if you have one of the round grills, not a problem. Again, spread it to both sides, put your bird in the middle, and it works well on those. Okay, you just don't want your meat directly above where the heat is going to be produced. There we go. Now, I'm going to turn that center burner all the way down, and I'm going to set my left burner on about a medium. And I'm going to lower this, and I'm going to bring this up to right over here. 375 is my target heat. You can cook at any temperature, but folks, look at it this way. If you have it up in the 400, 425 range, you're going to have a much darker brown bird. We want even medium browning, okay? So I'm going to be 350 to 375. And that's 300, 350 there, so I'm going to be right up in here, all right? That's my goal. Let's make it happen. My temperature is right at 350, and I had to bring it down just a little bit, but it's running real smooth right now, and it's going to bounce between 350 and 400. But later in the day, as the sun starts hitting this, I might need to lower the temperature on my burner to get it to be a little more cooperative for me. So that's part of the art of grilling, is you got to learn to read that and keep up with it as you're cooking, okay? The other thing is sometimes you're going to run into a situation where your food sticks to the grate, and you want to oil that grate in advance so that your food will not stick. Now you can use like a paper towel dipped in some oil and then rub it over the grate, or if you have a spray bottle like I was using earlier, one of these little handy guys, oh yeah, then you've got the right thing to spray it and it'll be easy. Right. So, simple spray. We don't have to worry about anything sticking this way. And that sure makes that easy, doesn't it? Our bird, right there. And it's ready to roast, okay? We just give it time. And I'm looking for a certain temperature. I want to bring that bird up to an internal temperature of about 130 degrees. Now eventually I want it to be 180, but before I move the chicken over to a hot zone to bring in some caramelization on the outside of the bird, I want to have the right temperature on the inside. A thermometer is necessary for that, so use your chef's thermometer for this, or a meat thermometer. Either will work really, really well. About halfway into my cooking, or in other words, about 20 minutes, I'm going to turn my chicken. You can also drain off any excess juices. Now I do this on purpose, and that is to help to ensure even cooking and even smoke. I've been getting good smoke coming off of this, and it smells delicious. I can see a nice color change in my chicken going on here. It is cooking beautifully. So I just need to close this and give it some more time. This usually takes 45 minutes to an hour on the first part, and then we get into the heat. At some point, and it's generally about 45 minutes into my cooking, I usually check my bird. Okay, now I've got a digital thermometer here. This is the kind that chefs use, and I really recommend this, by the way. It's made by Cooper. They're not sponsoring me or anything. God, I wish they would. But anyway, they're not. And these are sold at places that sell restaurant supplies, restaurant equipment. And they're very accurate, very good at what they do. I have a temperature of 130.6 degrees, and that's, right here where the breast and the thigh meet in that narrow area. That's a good place to check. So when I'm checking my chicken, and you can check more than one spot if you want. Like here I have 126.5, and that's inner breast, okay? At this point, when you're hitting about 125, 130 in that neighborhood, it's a good time to go ahead and get the chicken in some direct heat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire up another burner, and I'm going to reduce my temperature on these burners way down. That way I don't change the overall temperature in here, but I'm going to be cooking over direct heat now. I'm going to be getting searing on the meat. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with the bottom of the bird right down here, right on top of this. Before I go ahead and put it there, I want to spray this down and get it hit with a little bit of that same oil that I've done on this side. Alrighty, I'm going to take our sprayer. You might get some flare up from this, and that's normal. Don't worry about that. There we go. We could get a little smoking on that. That's all right. There we are. We're drawing direct heat now. I'm just going to give that some time, about 10 minutes at the most. Come back out. We're going to flip it over. We're going to get some direct heat on the other side. we're going to get some nice color on that bird. This I have allowed to rest for a bit, and I rested it right here where I cooked the majority of it. This is looking beautiful. I mean, it really is. I mean, look at this, folks. That is an absolutely gorgeous bird. This is what we're looking for when you're wanting a really nice, smoky, roasted chicken. There it is. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to go ahead, cut some strings here. Now watch out when you do this. Don't point that blade towards you. Now the other thing is once you get it to that point and it's free from the legs, a good jerk and that whole string comes right out of there. Just like that. There we go. Get that out of my way. One gorgeous chicken. All right. I always have a hard time deciding where I want to cut first, but in this case, I want to do one of these drumsticks. And I want to cut right in between, right there. Oh, that's beautiful. My plate's about to get flooded with juices. Beautiful, clean juices there. And that is just ready to open up, isn't it? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Also, you know, it's nice to get a bit of the breast. So we just want to kind of cut to one side of the center. And you can feel it if you're going into the right area. There we go. I'm give him a cut across the bottom here. There we are. We have a breast about ready to come out. There we go. We still have our wing, our back over here. This is not done, and I left a little bit of my tender down here. I was kind of sloppy, but you know, hey, not a big deal. In life, sometimes you get a little sloppy with the chicken. But right now, it's enjoying that chicken that's what matters. I tell you what, it is a fine looking bird, it really is. And when I cut into it, the one thing I can say, with that much juice flowing out, oh yeah, this is a great way to do it. And you saw how it was coming apart, tender. Okay, now that light smokiness. That's just delicious. Get that distinct mesquite smoke, delicious flavor, light saltiness. This is just perfect. This is what I'm looking for when I'm wanting a good roast chicken. It's the right way to do it, and I didn't heat up my house. If you would, take a look in the description box right under this. That's where I have some links to Texas Cooking Today and also to my website where I have the PDF version of my recipes going on right there. Okay, and that's S.A.Trotter.com. Please take a look at that. I appreciate you watching this. Please enjoy your chicken. I'm certainly going to be enjoying mine. And folks, thank you very much for watching. Stick around just a second. I've got one more thing to say, and it's about my recipes. That'll be inside. Thank you. I wanted to show you what one of my written recipes actually looks like. This one I'm offering for free, so you can go to my website and get this one for free. It's the cinnamon rolls recipe. But it shows how I do mine. I always give a picture of what you're about to make, a description, what it is. I bullet point the ingredients. And that makes it a lot easier when you're going through making your or laying out your ingredients. Now, in addition, I also go ahead and I number all of the instructions on there, so it's easier to keep up with where you're at. And if you'll notice, you're going to see pictures that depict how to do what you're doing. Not all of my recipes are written exactly this way. However, I am getting them all converted to this. So do me a favor, go to my website, take a look at this. Go ahead and download it for yourself. It's free. And once you're finished getting that, you'll know whether or not you want to get more of what I offer. Folks, I always give a place at the end of all of my recipes for you to write your own notes if there's something you want to put in there. So it's a really cool way of doing recipes, and that's the way I do my recipes. That's also why I charge 25 cents each for them. It's not a big deal, and I really appreciate your help in helping me to get these marketed and get them out there, because that's the help I need to cover my expenses basically. Thank you for that. Get this free one for yourself, and thank you very much for watching my show.